Hello everyone. I hope you're all ready for the party of corpses again. I don't know how they made Heavenly Host look even creepier. Alright, last time we left off, Ayumi got up in her and went in over her head again. If I cannot speak, she got into some bad shit again, and we met a few new characters, a douchebag looking character, a bitchy looking character, and someone named Aiko who was a friend of Naho's. Which is weird because Naho shouldn't have anyone remember her because she should have ceased to exist. Unless she managed to avoid that because of her spiritual ability, who knows. A day had passed since the event at the Shimaryaku South Apartments. This was to be a significant turning point for me, and Mochida might have been a part of it from the start. Except that fate seemed to have other plans for him. Oh. Oh, bird! Satoshi, you have trouble with your studies, I see, huh? Like an owner training a puppy, Kuon gave him a strong glare and held up her index finger in reprimand. Oh boy. She seemed a little taken aback by that remark, puffing up her cheeks like a chipmunk in protest. Are they? Looking both bemused and guilty, Mochida tried to get up and leave his seat in one swift motion, but he was quickly and easily caught, lifted up and forcefully sat back down. Oh shit! Damn. Kuon got some muscles on her. Miss Kuon was smiling. She was actually enjoying this. Miss Kuon was only the slightest bit taller than Mochida. They looked like the same height, actually. Yeah. This did make her taller than average, but her arms were small and frail. There seemed to be no way she could have possibly lifted someone of his build. The whole situation was rather bewildering for him, and he made no attempt to hide his confusion. Oh no. Rest in peace, buddy. He had no other option. Apparently, he was going to be studying algebra for the next hour, come hell or high water. Meanwhile... I wish I had the SpongeBob sound effect. Meanwhile... At a local cafe near the school, Kishinama and I were sitting down to speak with Aiko Naiwa, the informant who led my friends to me the previous night. I responded with a dismissive gesture while continuing to rub my abdomen with my other hand. Ever since the previous night, I'd had this constant, unbearable urge to pee. Oh, come on, dude. I hope not, that would be weird. So go to the bathroom. I guess you can start by telling us who the fuck are you? Aiko tilted her head and stared at me, looking me up and down, seemingly judging my every mannerism, my every movement. It was making me feel really self-conscious. I covered my abdomen with both hands, as if guarding it from her gaze. Something tells me she didn't do it out of the kindness of her heart. Kashinama and I stared at one another, still unsure on how to feel about this strange new addition to our entourage. Getting right down to business. We pledged never to discuss Heavenly Host with anyone else, which we'd always assumed would be an easy promise to keep. But now, casually and out of blue, here we were. It's another new sprite. Oh. Both Kashinama and I were speechless. I just sat there staring at my palm, subconsciously trying to see my aura. I guess Aiko was smiling at us triumphantly. Oh, so you're the reason we had to go through that shit. The true source of the deaths and subsequent erasures that had turned out our lives into a living nightmare was the Sachiko Ever After ritual posted on Naho's occult blog. I've been a fan of Naho's for quite some time, so when I saw that, I knew I had to try it out with my friends from Class 2-9. And as a result, half of these friends were now gone. They were Thanos snapped away from existence. Yes. I wonder why. Ah, I see. Physically, Aiko was a very attractive young lady, but personality-wise, the jury was still out. Her words were calculated and emotionless. Her true intentions were a mystery. Oh. She was obsessed with helping him. More like they died after... More like she died after she killed Kibiki, I guess. I looked down as I answered. Despite everything she'd done, the memory of Naho's passing was still painful for me. She'd become one of Heavenly Host's lost souls and gone completely berserk. In the end, I was the one who finished her off. Do you really care? Aiko seemed completely unaffected by this revelation. Her tone remained even and her expression cold and distant. Honestly, I'd had about enough of her by this point. She was so devoid of empathy, it was almost offensive. I was genuinely starting to get pissed off. I suppose. Kishinuma continued to stare intently at Aiko with his own brand of cold, emotionless eyes. He was oddly quiet, though his anger was palpable. I clenched my fist. I saw her. Aiko showed us a photo of a girl named Sayaka Aoi.
会ってないからわかりません。
We saw her corpse though, or at least we found her name tag. Aiko's expression was so unflattering. Oh, was so unfaltering you could carve it in stone. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something.
お客さんだなんて。そんなの。
My voice was breaking with rage, but even if that hadn't been the case, my face must have read like a book. This icy bitch may have had only one expression, but I sure didn't.
あら、あなたは客って言葉に対して随分と偏見を持っているのね。取引を行う以上、私はそこに最大の誠意とクオリティを提供する。
So does my local stripper.
つまりそれがパートナーとしての信用で、フレンドシップにも負けないものだと思っているけれど。そんなこと。
I had no idea what to say. It seemed like Aiko was used to this sort of thing. Her response felt carefully rehearsed, like a sales pitch. Finally, Kishinuma broke his silence.
あんたよ、昨日篠崎を助けてくれたことは感謝するけどよ、金やなんかの見返りのためにそんなろくでもない情報を拡散させるなんて旗迷惑だと思わねえのか。
There ain't no rest for the wicked, Kishinuma. Or Yoshiki.
情報は情報よ。それ自体に罪はないわ。道具と同じ。それをどう使うかは使い手の問題でしょ。
Yeah, she got you there.
その気になれば、その辺にあるコップでも人は殺せてしまうのよ。
なもん詭弁じゃねえかよ。
No, she's got a point, man.
あなたもそう思う？あゆみちゃん、愛子さん。ごめんなさい。私はあなたの考え方嫌いです。無責任だと思います。
Her expression remained calm and collected overall, but her eyes blinked several times in rapid succession. It was the first outward sign of emotion we'd seen from her.
やれやれ、ひどい嫌われよね。慣れてるけど悲しいわ。
Oh, be quiet. I doubt it. Aiko quickly shrugged off her sudden outburst and was back to her usually icy self.
天神書は俺らがぶっ壊してきたから
What?
いいけどよ。
Yoshiki, you know it's not. You know it's still there. Why are you acting like it's gone? An awkward tension filled the room, or at least our table.
じゃ、本題に入りましょうか。私があなたたちに近づいた理由、伝えたいことについて。
Aiko produced a thick, hardbound file folder from the light blue bag she'd brought with her. She opened it to reveal several documents of a questionable nature. Among them were what looked to be a family tree, as well as numerous pages featuring black magic symbols or images that looked like tree branches.
黒魔術の文字対応表。篠崎家の家系図。
That's another new sprite.
少しショッキングなことを伝えるわね。
Lay it on me. Aiko was looking directly into my eyes now. Her gaze was fixed and tense and unblinking.
さっき岸沼くんが言ったことだけれど、間違いよ。
あ？何がだよ。
天神小学校は壊れてなどいない。今もまだ存在し続けている。
We should know that. Yoshiki, why are you surprised? Yuki told us at the end of the first game, like, just because we got rid of Sachiko, Heavenly Host would still be there. In the picture, a small girl could be seen standing in one of these all too familiar hallways, holding a hatchet in her right hand.
天神小学校。
なんだよこれ。
やっぱり。これは私が念写したものよ。力が足りなくて少し不鮮明ではあるけれど。
It looks just as shitty as it was before. Doesn't look any different.
どういうことなんですか？
I can't even describe what was going on through my head at the moment. I felt like I was about to burst. Aiko, however, remained calm as ever while recounting her story.
順を追って説明するわね。まず昨日の例の赤い箱だけれど、開けるとこのレーグが出てきたの。
The box I found on Makina's futon. Inside it were apparently two stones resembling Magatama. I don't know what that is. Magatama, kama-shaped ceremonial objects from Japanese antiquity. Also included in the box were several more roughly hewn stones, as well as a lining along the edges consisting of crumpled pieces of thin white paper.
残念ながら箱の中でほとんど割れていたけれど、この一組は無事だったわ。
So there was more? They almost looked like a demented version of yin and yang symbols, puzzle pieces that were clearly built to be slotted together. Aiko now held one stone in each hand and was motioning them towards one another as if to drive that point home.
レーグというのはね、簡単に言えば死者の思いが込められたもののことで、
Even I know that.
物に閉じ込められた霊、またはその生前の記憶が持つ者に永遠と泣き言を語りかけてくる愉快なものよ。私はこう見えて無類のレーグコレクターでもあるの。
Kishirama and I briefly locked eyes again. We shared the same look of bewilderment. Aiko's personality was much more twisted than either of us had initially perceived it to be.
この子の意志を読もうとするとね、呪わしい声と一緒にお下げのして気になったからこのカメラに。
At this, she produced an old instant camera and placed it on the table in front of us.
私の念を写してみたの。それがその写真。私がこのレーグを使ってその時の今現在を念写したものよ。過去や未来の時間を超えた念写は私にはできないから。
I examined the photograph in greater detail, and a chill ran down my spine. There was absolutely no denying what it depicted. I was actually shaken.
篠崎幸子を失ったあの学校は私たちが逆落ちで脱出した際に崩壊したはず。
Yuki told you that wasn't the case.
でも寸前のところでとどまったってところかしら。私に語りかけてくる声の主がまだいるのかもね。
Aiko motioned towards the photo in my hand.
例えば写真の女の子とか。
I think Ayumi recognizes her. The answer was beginning to dawn on me. A sudden cold sensation exploded through my body and I shuddered, as if trying to shake off the encroaching realization. But last time we saw Yuki, she said the school was already making a new Sachiko. And last time we saw her figure, her person, she had a red dress on, just like Sachiko's. So, as in, she was going to be the new Sachiko.
地獄みたいな場所がまだ存在してるってのかよ。
Kishinuma leaned forward. The conversation was clearly beginning to engage him a lot more than it had been.
その天神小学校。いえ、学校の形をしたあの異空間だけれど、ナホちゃんに紹介した手前、私も気になって調べていたの。
I thought Naho found out the heavenly host. Like, I thought she found the times, the dimensional spaces when she investigated the ruins of the Shinozaki estate. Like, this is entirely new information.
あの異空間の正体はね。
Maybe she found out the estate's location.
立場なの。普通はこの世とは別の次元に存在するものなのだけれど。ねえ、ええ、篠崎義恵については知っているわよね。
Oh, I know her. Naomi knows her very well.
篠崎の家、義恵の診療所に黒の本と呼ばれる魔導書。
I still don't know
書
how.
物があったことも。
I still don't know how Yoshi had a book like the Book of Shadows. Why? How could she know about that? A million thoughts, a million questions were running through my head. I was speechless. All I could do was sit there and hear her out. What the fuck? It was like a muffled scream, or a moan of agony. The sound you make when you want to make a sound, but are barely able to. That one was a little more forceful. Accompanied by thrashing, it caused the nearby table light to fall over and roll along the ground.
あなた落ち着いてお願い
And Yoshi herself was on top of her husband, holding him down with both of her hands. She continued her Shinto purification chant. To prevent Seiji from biting off his own son, he had been gagged with a towel. Needless to say, he wasn't looking particularly well. Not far from this was occurring, Sachiko stood aghast, trembling as she watched the proceeding with hesitant, sidelong glances. Seiji, still collapsed on the floor, was clearly suffering. His body was bent into a most unnatural shape, and he was fervently clawing at his neck. Sachiko's father screamed through his gag, foam beginning to froth out of its edges. He was going into cryonosis. Ghostly images of Shinozaki woman from ages past smiled down upon the event from the ceiling, laughing and mocking his suffering. Worse still, some of the women had traditional blackened teeth, giving their smiles an unintentionally sinister edge. The atmosphere within the room was heavy, as if spirits occupied every empty corner, dancing and flitting about freely and joyously. Seiji's body sharply bent and began convulsing.
荒れませる腹色の狼たちあなたしっかりああ三親の御霊様お願いです連れて行かないでください
Her great-grandmother, Sierra, the head of the Shinozaki family, was among the black-teethed women laughing joyously at Seiji's suffering. What the hell is happening to him? His voice began to weaken and his convulsions began to lose strength. Finally, the last spark of life had left his body, his eyes rolled back into his head, and all moments ceased. Sachiko looked up, her eyes glazed over with tears. Yoshie, too, was stricken with grief and despair. Oh, that sucks. Yoshike better fucking, dip. Ayumi has a crush on Satoshi, but I think like Yoshiki better fucking like skedaddle. I would never risk my life for a hot piece of ass. I don't care how hot she is.
心ない者たちから守るよう篠崎の家に隠されていた禁忌の本に手をつける。それが黒の本、ブックオブシャドウズ。
How do you know this?
愛する者を失う、そのことを恐れるあまり黒魔術に頼ったの。まさに高等無形でバカな話よね。
It sounds like the plot to Revenge of the Sith.
ヨシエ自身もすがれるものなら何でもいい程度にしか思っていなかったと思うわ。ところがまさか信じられないことが起こる。
I continued listening, unknowingly stroking the wound unknowingly stroking the wound on my thigh as unpleasant memories of my own foolish run-ins with black magic resurfaced.
ヨシエの体に流れる篠崎の血筋、その強い霊力に想像もつかない何かが呼応してしまった。それは
I instantly knew what she was going to say.
ヨシエの術で本の中から呼び覚まされた何か。それは涅槃。
So, in trying to save her husband from the curse of the Shinozaki, she accidentally created a multitude of closed spaces that are probably infinite.
未来永劫、死者と共にいられる場所、死後の世界を切り取った空間がこの世に生まれてしまったの。ヨシエはもう半分正気を失っていたのね。一人娘の幸子を現世に残して自分は夫の魂と共に生涯をここで添い遂げようとした。
Wow, that was...
ランド・オブ・コープス。ところが涅槃には意志があり、ヨシエの手でコントロールできるものではなかったの。
Then why did Sachiko seem to have like complete control over it? Did she? I knew that all too well. Just like Yoshie, I experienced my own tragic failure with black magic at the Shinozaki clinic.
黒魔術には障害反動がある。夫の魂はバラバラに飛散し、ヨシエの命も消えかけた。自分の愚かな行為を悔やみながら呼吸を止めようとしたその時、底なしに霊能力の強い一人娘幸子が涅槃を
Oh, that's bullshit.
幸子が
So that's how Sachiko got control of the closed spaces? The poor girl collapsed on the floor, violently thrashing about as the weight of an entire dimension crushed her from from the inside. What the fuck is in my throat? The actions had saved her mother's life, certainly, but death would have surely been preferable. Picking herself up, Yoshie rushed to her daughter's side in tears.
幸子、
How did she do that shit?
お母さん死なないで、お母さん。
Both parent and child were bawling. Pain mixing with relief, mixing with pain again. The little girl buried her face into Yoshie's bosom and just cried and cried. Yoshie grasped her tightly in both arms, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. By this point, Sachiko's body had begun producing a dark blue aura.
ごめんねさっちゃんごめんねお母さん間違ってた
I feel bad for your husband most of all. He just wanted to marry the woman he loved and he died for it. Did you tell him that was part of the risk? Like, by the way, dude, if you marry me, you're probably gonna die very
お母
quickly.
さんにはあなたがいるわもうあなたを置いていこうだなんて思わないからあなたも知っての通り幸子も篠崎家当主直系の血を引くサラブレッド義恵を超えるほどの霊能力を持っていたのね涅槃を丸ごと体内に封じ込めるなんてものすごいことよ
Aiko took a big noisy sip from her coffee mug. Oh, you smug bitch. Only assholes sip like that.
霊能者だったんじゃないかしらまだほんの小さな子供だったけれど
How?
でもその幸子が死んでしまって
Because of that fucking pervert of a principal.
そう保健医義恵の転落事故と同時に幸子が行方不明になった50年前のあの事件あれは校長による殺人事件でしたやはりそうなのね校長が余計なことをしでかしたおかげで幸子の中に吸い込まれて封印されていた涅槃が復活しあの異空間天神小学校が生まれてしまったのよ
So, because Sachiko was killed by the principal, that released Nirvana, or Heavenly Host, into existence. And Heavenly Host was Sachiko's, I guess, past given form.
とはいえ復活した涅槃も資料として蘇った幸子の力で再び抑制されてやっぱりその支配下に置かれていたようだけれど
She was practically a god.
幸子がいろんな力を使えたのもその涅槃の影響だったのかしら
How did she manage to pull people into her dimension or dimensions? This was all starting to make a sick sort of sense. The pieces were falling into place and painted an absolutely awful picture. I shuddered to myself as I considered it.
現在はあなたたちが脱出の際に幸子を取り除いてしまったから涅槃は
So by appeasing Sachiko,
状態になっているのよ
so by appeasing Sachiko, there's no one left to control Nirvana.
なくなってしまえばよかったのにあんな危険な場所
This entire conversation was a roller coaster of emotions for me. At this point, I was just angry. Angry at everyone involved in this whole ordeal, myself included.
さてここで少し突飛な話をするわよついてきてね
But then how did Sachiko get a corporeal body again? Like, that was a big part of the, mystery. Like, how did she get a corporeal body to commit those murders with Yoshikazu?
はい死んだ友達にまた会いたい
Don't mess with me. That certainly got our attention. We both perked our heads up immediately.
涅槃で死んだ霊は成仏できずに囚われ続けるというわお友達の魂だってまだあそこにいるかもしれない
Well, we know that for sure.
実はね黒の本ブックオブシャドウズにいろんな魔術が書かれているの義恵の使った涅槃を生み出す術の他にも反言の術というものもある
Nakashima and I knew about that one as well, all too well.
命を無理やり戻すなんて敬虔な宗教家に言わせれば神のお示しに背く背徳の行為だと言われそうだけれどね
Yeah, don't try to play God. Fullmetal Alchemist definitely taught us that lesson.
は
Kishinuma seemed a bit more confused than he probably should have been, though I suspect the look on my face may have had something to do with that. I performed that spell, the very one Aiko was describing. It took hours, failed miserably, and killed my sister. All at once, the guilt renewed. I lowered my head solemnly. Aiko grinned at me, and I had this sinking suspicion it was because she had somehow knew what I was thinking, though I couldn't be sure, and I certainly didn't know how she would.
そんなものはクソくらいよね。報徳も破壊も何でも来いよ。死んだ友達を生き返らせたいんでしょ。だったらあの本を探し出し、天神小学校でもう一度あの術を行えば成功する可能性は飛躍的に上がるんじゃないかしら。
So because we tried it in the real world, we failed?
おいあんた、何無責任なこと言ってやがんだ。
I didn't exactly mean to interrupt Kishinuma, but quite honestly, I didn't even realize he was talking. I was too focused on what Aiko had just said.
あなた知っているんですね。私と中島さんの吉江の家での失敗を。
Aiko tilted her head at me, that same wiry smile creeping across her face. She'd gone from cold and emotionless to knowing and expressive in a mere instant.
あの時のことは夢幻だったと思っています。
To be fair, I would have thought it was a nightmare.
ありえないものを見て、ありえない体験をして、私はおかしくなっていたって。してはいけないこと。そんなこと。もう忘れたいの。でも現実だった。
Aiko pointed at the scar on my neck, and then went one step further and lightly bruised it with her hand. Brushed it, sorry. I could feel that touch deep within my soul. I suddenly found myself swallowing my next breath, practically choking on thin air.
いい？人が本来触れることすらできない世の常識の裏側にあなたは手を突っ込んだのよ。今さら逃げられると思う？
I looked down again, trying my best to avoid Aiko's gaze.
私にそんなことが。
I could tell, though, that she was smiling at me. It was the same expression, her new standard.
そんなことで
Oh, shut up.
何？うんうん。何？あなたの口から
You
ちゃん
said,
と聞きたいな。
you sadistic upstart. Actually, I don't know. Is this actually sadism?
よく言えました。
Oh, screw you. Aiko patted my head as one might a dog's after a successful performed trick.
黒の本が生み出すのは魔女の英知が起こす奇跡よ。それは運命をねじ曲げる力。たとえそれが確定した運命であろうともね。あなたは強力な霊能者の家系篠崎家の末裔。日野江さんがいない今、これはあなたにしかできないことかもしれない。
What about her mom? Or her father, who like, isn't one of them like, part of the Shinozaki family? Can't they do this shit? My confidence was being bolstered by the minute, though in retrospect, that was likely Aiko's aim. Nonetheless, if there was still something I could do for my friends.
だけど肝心のブックオブシャドウズがどこに行ったのかもわからないし、それに幸子を失った天神賞には幸せの幸子さんのおまじないではもういけない。そうだと思います。この学校で菅野由紀ちゃんという女の子に聞きました。
Aiko once again placed the bluish-white magmata stones from the box in either hand. This time fitting them together, though not quite the way they were supposed to interlock.
そこでこれよ。
Oh?
それは一体ものすごい霊力を持ってる。さすが篠崎の霊力。
Pardon me, I have to use the bathroom.
教えてくれたわ。
Quite the coincidental name. I leaned forward despite myself. The name sent a shiver down my spine, but now that I'd heard it, I had to know more.
この石は2つで1つなの。これをパズルのようにくっつけて、涅槃よ、死人を迎えよと唱えれば、触れている者みんながいつでも天神小学校へ飛べるわ。
We both flinched at her chant, but Aiko just smiled. She must have intentionally oriented the stones the wrong way so the charm wouldn't activate. How do you know? Did they come with instructions? She tossed the stone she'd been holding in her right hand into her left, where it clacked together with the other. What girl? Aiko gazed longingly at the stones. She was clearly, utterly enamored by them. It seemed as if they were the key factors in unleashing her newfound emotional expressiveness. But my focus was elsewhere. Without a doubt, the items Aiko now held in her left hand were extraordinarily dangerous. Possibly the most dangerous, horrific objects in the world. Yeah, fuck nukes. Like, these are dangerous. However, while Aiko was ogling them with her left hand, her right was feeling around for something in her breast pocket. She slowly removed it, producing an old black and white photograph. When she had taken that, it was the same photograph I'd seen at the Makina Shinozaki house the previous night. It depicted a young Yoshie alongside her mother and Makina.
10代だった篠崎義恵はおばの牧野のことを慕ってよく家に遊びに
So the kid is Yoshie.
世界的に有名な霊能師の家系である篠崎家。ここならとヤゴーラ教会の生き残りヤゴーラの沖縄が危険だからとマルトゥバから盗み出してきたブック・オブ・シャドウズを預けに来たんだけれど、それが揃うと危ないからと石は牧野が本は義恵が預かって保管することに決めたそうよ。
And it was just in her abandoned apartment. Yagura Society? Matubas? I've never heard of these terms before at all. And then there was that damn Book of Shadows again. Why did that have to keep coming up?
あなたたちはあの学校から篠崎幸子を取り除いた。それによって大きな可能性が広がったわ。これまでのような一方通行ではなく現世に戻ってくることができる。この世のものではない異空間心霊スポットが生まれているの。
But two-way travel was possible before, as long as you performed the charm correctly the second time. She thrust the Ever After Stones towards me triumphantly and continued to make her pitch, growing more excited by the second. I was legitimately speechless. What could I say?
わかるかしら。まさにあの場所は宝の山よ。これまで眉唾、嘘800と笑われていた霊魂の世界への扉が開いたの。世界中のオカルト研究が一気に加速するわ。私はね、商売としてあの空間へ人
You goddamn fool!
キャラクターをやろうと思うの。
That is a terrible idea. Kishinuma and I both reacted to this preposterous suggestion with a start. She couldn't possibly be serious, could she?
ヤホちゃんのブログからは片白のデータは削除したし、あの手段ではもう飛べない。
How did you do that? Did you hack it? What could she possibly have been thinking? I wanted to stop her at once. I wanted to take those stones and break them right there on the spot before anyone else got hurt.
私はね、ツアーを運営するにあたって安全を確保したいの。あゆみちゃんはお友達の霊を探したいでしょ。だったらあの空間の再調査は共通の目的にならないかしら。
Aiko leaned in as she spoke. Her breath, scented with the sugary sweet of the extravagant desserts we'd been eating, tickled my nose.
ね、あゆみちゃん。私と一緒にもう一度天神小学校に来てくれ。本来は片白を引きちぎる方法でツアーをやろうと思っていたんだけど、こんな便利なアイテムが見つかっちゃったんだもの。これはもう運命よ。私やるわ。商売にする。
Aiko seemed like she was on top of the world, but that just made me all the more disgusted with her.
どうかしら。
On the other hand, she was offering me a chance to save our lost friends, and however remote that chance might have been, it stacked the odds frustratingly in her favor. I still couldn't just say yes, but I also couldn't say no. Honestly, I resented Aiko for putting me in this position. I glared at her for a moment before I said anything.
すぐに答えを出せるわけがないでしょ。返させてください。
I'd almost forgotten Kishinuma was there. Sudden waves of guilt washed over me. He had an absolutely incredulous look on his face. I couldn't bear to see it, so I looked away.
コンボシャドウ使ってどこにそもそもその石だって本当にそんな力があるかもわからないじゃないですか。
Good point.
試したわけじゃないのでしょ。
Aiko smiled. She oriented the two stones so they'd form a perfect yin-yang symbol, then slotted them together once more. Immediately, the stones began glowing with a bluish-white hue, and a steam of energy started to form around her.
マジかよ。
It's real? No way. Aiko continued smiling and looked directly into my eyes.
いいわ。ゆっくり考えて。この石はもちろんまだ試していないからどれだけ危険かわからないしね。
She slowly separated the two stones as she said this, and the energy surrounding her dissipated.
篠崎家の血筋、篠崎真希菜の家で発見されたんだもの。きっと信憑性も霊言も新たかな霊具に違いないわ。
Shit, she's right.
すげえな。ちょっと見せてくれよ。
Kishinuma didn't wait for an answer. He grabbed the Ever After stones from Aiko's hands and began examining them carefully.
あの箱の中にこんなものが入ってたとはな。あんたさ、まさかこの石を独り占めしようなんて
Aiko seemed taken aback by the question. Way to go, Kishinuma. You managed to catch her off guard.
これを見つけられたのは半分は篠崎が体張ったおかげなんだろ。
Aiko seemed to ponder these words for a moment.
じゃあお互い勝手に行けないように一つずつ持っていましょうか。
That's a good deal.
わかりました。ちょうだい、岸沼くん。
Kishinuma plopped one of the stones in my hand, and then slipped the other back into the drawstring pouch Aiko had brought them in and closed it up. He then casually handed the pouch back to its rightful owner.
その気になったら連絡をちょうだい。そうね。サービスとしてブックオブシャドウズの捜索は私も手伝ってあげるわ。
How generous. Aiko flashed us the biggest, most gregarious smile I think I'd ever seen. What the hell does that mean?
この本さえ見つかれば一緒に行ってくれるのよね、あゆみちゃん。
I closed my eyes and gave something like a half-hearted half nod, lower in my head without raising it again. It was interpreted as a yes, but I'm not sure I meant it that way.
じゃあここは私が出しておくわね。
Aiko got up and grabbed the check.
いえ、私も出します。
I took out my wallet. I had no desire to owe this person anything. Aiko just smiled.
それじゃ割り勘ってことで。
What? Dutch it is? What does that mean?
そうそう。これは私からのプレゼント。
Aiko handed her thotograph to me.
嫌だわ。そんなに構えないで。これは無料で差し上げるわ。だから安心して。 最低だよ、あの人。
Me too, Ayumi.
鈴本さんや篠原さん、森重君、ゆい先生、みんなのことが終わったらこの石はすぐに壊すから。
ああ、その意見には俺も同感だ。
You clever little thief. As if we'd been waiting for this cue, Kishinuma pulled the other stone from his pocket.
岸沼君、
あの学校のヤバさも知らねえで浮かれてやがったからな。こっそりいただいてきたぜ。
岸沼君、すごい悪い人。
緊急事態によりやむなしだ。けどよ、篠崎、こう言っちゃなんだが、生き返らせるとかその
It sounds like a whole load of horse shit and we shouldn't try it.
鈴本たちのことはもう考えない方がいいんじゃねえか。無茶ばっかしてお前がまた死ぬ思いするとかよ。鈴本も結衣先生も篠原も森重もみんなよ。
そうじゃないかも。
You really think they would wish that upon you?
いい加減にしろ、篠崎。サトシや中島がどんだけお前のこと心配してると思ってんだ。
ごめんなさい。でもお願い、岸沼君、もう少しだけ、もう少しだけでいいから私の気の済むまでやらせて。お願い。
ああ、いいか。一人じゃダメだぞ。こっちは俺が預かっとくからな。
Shouldn't like all four of us go? Like Satoshi Niobe with them?
大丈夫だ。
Aww. I turned my gaze up to meet Kishinuma's. My eyes must have looked like saucers. Must have looked like saucers. Windows into a mind full of worries, ideas, and fears spurred by this unexpected turn of events.
なんかあったらすぐ連絡しろよ。前みたいに目つぶって突っ走って勝手に死にそうになってんじゃねえぞ。俺だってお前一人くらい守れる自信はあんだからよ。
Kishinuma patted me on the head reassuringly as he said this, and I had no idea how to react. I felt warm and safe, but also a little annoyed, much like a younger sister being simultaneously comforted and scolded by her big brother. All I could say in response was, I could feel my eyes still bulging from my head, opened as far as my eyelids would allow. I imagined how I must have appeared to Kishinuma, and was momentarily embarrassed. Let's go.
ただいま。
She looks a little chipper.
今日の変死速報です。死亡した岡部さんは背骨が折れた状態で
Ooh,
この場所で発見され、
what a shitty way to go.
うん。
You're just gonna leave your socks there? That was a bad habit of mine, so ingrained with me that it had almost become ritual. Mom did well to have caught it so quickly. I grabbed my socks and left the room.
みんなに魂がいる天神症でルフ・オブ・シャドウズを使えば
Aiko's information might have been full of shit though.
帰らせることができるかもしれない。
Oh, God. Damn, her neck looks fucked up. When I got there, I threw my socks into the hamper with purpose and then began peeling off my uniform. As I observed myself in the mirror, I began to murmur.
障害反動。もしあれがまた起こったら
I thought like her entire body was fucked up. Those burn marks on my neck and arms were eternal reminders of what I've been through at the Shinozaki estate. I could clearly remember the agony I went through as they formed. I remember watching them sear into my flesh out of thin air, blood spurting from them as if I'd been knifed. I only survived because Hinoe sacrificed herself in my place.
やるしかないじゃない。
I tried to force self-confidence into my expression. When it wouldn't come, I slapped my cheeks hard. It was in me somewhere. It just needed to be yanked out into the open.
あなたが頑張るのよ。
Ayumi looks kind of cute without like her pigtails, not gonna lie. Aw, blowing bubbles. Like a child. I lowered my head into the water ever so slightly, blowing bubbles into the water with my mouth. The pros and cons of turning into Heavenly Host were racing through my head.
確定した運命に挑む力。篠崎の末裔。オブ・シャドウズのありかさえ分かればすぐにでも。
What the fuck?
オブシャドウズのありかだ。相変わらずずれた感性してやがんな。
Oh shit.
あなた警察呼ぶからこの変態ストーカー
That's the expression, or that's the reaction I expected. My face had to have been as red as fire by this point.
うるせえよこの父なし女がみたいな体してやがって
Oh,
て
get
めえみたいな貧相な体なんも面白くねえんだよ
get roasted. You want some ice for that bird?
よく聞け。ブックオブシャドウズは涅槃の中に戻ってる。ほら、
Who the fuck are you?
いつの間にこれが何だっていうのよ。
よく見ろ節穴女。ここだここ。
Alright, I need to get some water. I don't know why my throat hurts or it's like fucked up. I thought I saw this before. She is holding the book, isn't she?
これは
力を使いたいならもう一度涅槃。いや、天神小学校と言った方がいいか。すぐにあそこへ飛んでその本を手に入れろ。そうすりゃお前の願いも叶うだろう。
He stuck out his hand and pointed it directly at my face, and then slowly lowered it towards my abdomen. He was now explicitly pointed at my lower body. That's kind of fucking weird. But as soon as I started to get self-conscious, he flipped his hand over and opened it, exposing his palm. There was another piece of 10 yen gum cup there, the same kind as before. I'm not sure why I took it, but I did, without ever thinking it. As soon as the exchange was made, he immediately turned towards the bathroom window, apparently preparing to make his escape.
あなた何者なの？どうして私に？
And why shouldn't I call the cops? My question seemed to stop him in his tracks. I wasn't about to drop my guard, especially given the obvious advantage this boy had over me. But he didn't seem like he'd come to attack me or anything. Rather, it almost seemed like he was trying to lead me somewhere, to show me the way. He turned his head towards me just enough so that I could catch a glimpse of the eyes beyond his hood. They were ice blue in color, but gentle and sincere. Really? He smiled once more and leapt out of the bathroom window. I was kind of dumbfounded. I had no idea how to process what had just happened.
どうしたの、あゆみ？大丈夫？
About time you got here. Mom barged into the bath, brandishing a broom. It was probably the first thing she could find with which to fend off potential intruders. Too bad she hadn't been just a moment quicker. All I could do was squat on the bathroom floor and stare at her with hollow eyes. There was no way to adequately explain any of this to her. Really? PL Promotion. Why does that name sound familiar? Since why did the occult get so like popular as soon as we came back from Heavenly Host? Is it because of Naho?
コンビニでお札が買える時代かよ。ちょっと前までならこんなもの見てもいいって笑えたんだろうけど
Just 2 short months ago.
なっちまう
Weird, I thought there would be like a bigger time skip.
こんなの本物相手に聞くのかよなんて思うようになるとは
The item I was examining happens to be one of the spirit talisman magnets, seemingly the last one in stock. What?
どう
What the hell, old lady? What a bitch!
なんだよ
Fucking Karen. Oh, I'm controlling him? So I go here? Okay, I go this way. Oh, hello there. Why are you in your uniform?
何してんだこんな時間に家に帰ったんじゃねえのかよ
Were they too lazy to animate her in another outfit?
ごめんねこんな遅くにアルバイト
ああ今日は遅番だったからなでまさかずっと待ってたのかなんか悪かったな
うん平気
It was actually a really chilly night. I could see Shinazaki's breath dissipating around her chin in short, frequent bursts.
平気じゃねえだろ震えてんじゃねえか
Yeah, put the
嫌じゃなければ寄ってけよ
put the moves on
く
her.
らい出してやる
Wow, that's actually look a pretty nice room. What's with the tears?
変だろ妹がいつも送ってくんだよいい茶話
こんな時間まで工事してるんだ
ああ年末近くになるとこういう意味のない工事増えるなうるさいわ眩しいわで寝れやしねえよ
And yeah, I live next to a train. Luckily, it doesn't come by too often. She definitely had something on her mind. Something had happened. It was written all over her face.
親に断ってきてんのか
連絡は大丈夫
そうか
Shinozaki was in my room. I dreamed about this before, but never thought it would actually happen.
なんだなあいやそのどうしたんだよこんな遅くになんかあったのか
Yeah, some weird fucking creep came into my bathroom while I was taking a bath.
はあ今から展示場に行くだ
That's stupid. That's dumb. Ayumi, you're fucking dumb.
お願い
でこの石を取りに来たのか
Oh, so you didn't just want to check up on me?
いいか篠崎確かにこの石はさっき光ってたし何か力はあるかもしれねえまた出られなくなって下手したら今度こそ死んじまうそうなりゃここでのお前の存在まで消えちまうかもしれねえんだぞ
I tried to be as strong and commanding as I could possibly muster. I needed her to realize what a bad idea this was.
私の存在なんていいそれよりみんなを救いたいの黒の本ブックオブシャドウズのありかが分かったの
さっき言ってた あの本のことか。
見て。
She had that thoughtograph thing from Akka with her, and was pointing to a little girl's left arm.
私たち実はもうさっき見えていたのよ。この女の子の左手のところ、それがブックオブシャドウズよ。
That kind of looks like a bad photocopied version of a photo.
本か。確かに持ってるな。それでこれがブックオブシャドウズだっていう確証はあんのかよ。
That's a very good question.
ないけど。でも多分間違いないと思う。
It could just be like a random book. Don't. Yeah, you don't operate on assumptions.
天神賞へはね、
Even
こ
though
の
I
本を取り戻しに行くの。
do that all the time, but this is life or death.
みんなの魂を涅槃から解き放てる。鈴本さんたちを今度こそ生き返らせることができるわ。
How could I argue with that? There were so many assumptions being made, but she was so sure of herself, so certain that this would work. She wasn't about to listen to reason. Ugh.
つか、そもそもこんな石で本当に天神賞に行けるのか。
それは試してみなきゃだけれど。でももしまた天神賞に行けたら、みんなの魂がそこにあるんだから、今度こそ反抗の術が成功すると思うの。
At this point, just take it out of her hand and fucking destroy it.
篠崎。
She's not gonna listen, dude. I don't see any scars, dude.
こんなこと誰にも話せないけど、あなたは信じてくれる。
Could we at least get Satoshi and Naomi for backup? I feel like we would have a better chance if all four of us went. I was at a complete loss for words. I found myself literally scratching my head, trying to come up with a good answer. This was Shinozaki, and she had come to me for moral support, for encouragement, for peace of mind. It was really the first time she'd ever truly relied on me, ever truly counted on me. I knew then what I had to do.
もうよ、あのクソ学校であんな目にあって帰ってきたんだ。今さら何があっても驚きゃしねえよ。
You fools.
理解はできないけどな。できないままに俺は決めたことがある。
決めたこと？
ああ、何があってもお前を守るってよ。
Aww. Shinozaki and I stared into each other's eyes for a moment, each of us trying to figure the other out.
心配すんな。大丈夫だ。
I tried to force a smile. Shinozaki had basically curled up into a ball at this point, her tiny body collapsed in and on itself and for support. But now, all of a sudden, she unfolded herself and glared at me. What? I couldn't tell if she was mad or happy or what. Her eyes were either like daggers or saucers. I couldn't really make out which. Maybe she'd come here expecting me to actively shoot down her ideas or something. Maybe she thought she'd do this alone. Maybe she figured out what I was up to. Or maybe she'd been expecting me to say exactly what I'd said to her. And maybe it annoyed her? Either way, tears began to explode from her eyes so quickly that red babs were forming under them almost instantly. She then turned her back to me, all with one seemingly unconscious spin of her body.
どうした篠崎。
What the hell's wrong with you? Oh, she's embarrassed, I guess? She seemed like she was trying her hardest not to let herself cry, though it wasn't exactly working.
んなことしたか
What? You don't remember? Seriously? She paused, seemingly waiting for me to answer, but I had no idea what to say, and absolutely didn't want to say the wrong thing. So I just stood there like a dolt. Yep, common guy response.
やっぱり覚えてないなら
Finally, she turned back to face me. Fuck this, I'm not gonna read it anymore. Trust me, goat. Trust me, dude.
お前の持ってる石の片割れ
Yoshiki, I get it, man.
見せて
Women are strange creatures. So confusing. Shinozaki removed the Ever After stone from her pocket and placed it squarely in my hand. I positioned it next to my stone and stared intently at the two. This was the turning point. What I did next could decide our fates. I couldn't mess this up. Outside my window, I could still hear the sound of construction vehicles driving by. It was now or never. Yeah! Finally! I timed it perfectly, and my aim couldn't have been better. Another truck was about to pass by, and the stones were immediately in its path. Yeah! Finally! Thank you, Yoshiki! Shinozaki rushed over to the window, and directly witnessed the fate of the Ever After stones. As soon as the truck drove over them, she collapsed to her knees.
お前を守るんだ何をしてでも
Oh! I couldn't even finish my sentence before Shinozaki's palm slammed into my face with incredible force. The loud smack of flesh on flesh echoed throughout the room. The side of my face was immediately in pain. I began rubbing it with my hand as I looked into Shinozaki's eyes. Oh shit. She's crying again. Her face was filled with tears and her nose was running. She was breathing so heavily, her shoulders were bobbing up and down.
やっぱりあなたはどうしようもない人
I saved your life, you stupid wench!
篠崎聞いて
僕が信じた私がバカだった
She was absolutely hysterical with rage.
行かせるかよあんなところに
It was my turn to fire back. I was certain I'd done the right thing.
本があるったって具体的にどこだ一体何をするんだよ何のプランもなしにってまた死ぬ思いするだけだろ
ない何よバカアホうろ
Ooh! Those are the same words she used in the bad ending. Leaving me with those hurtful words, Shinozaki then pushed past me and ran out of my room, crying like a child the whole way. I stood back up, rubbing my cheek where I had been slapped. Hey, I found him. Did they seriously not get crushed?
牛だったんだトラックに踏まれたのに
Oh, I guess they're indestructible?
当然だろう。ただの石じゃねえんだ。
Oh, you again.
あれ
よく手段を手に入れた。論から手段、次に実践だ。進め。貪欲に貪るように邁進しろ。お前はもう飛べる。バンピーどもを超越する世の断りに手を突っ込むことのできる人間だ。
教えてよ味方なの
He is so obviously fucking evil.
篠崎
Look at that douchey smile.
篠間くん。
比べてこいつはクズだ。
Excuse you?
なんだよお前。壊れなかったのかそれ。篠崎渡すんだ。
いや、
ダメだ行くんじゃねえ。何度死にそうになれば気が済むんだよ。いや渡せ。
Oh! Damn!
野生犬だ。歩み、味方かと聞いたな。その通り、守るもんだ。俺はお前の姉、日の絵の世話になった一番弟、矢後浦教会のキリアミストだ。
姉ちゃん。
いい子で。会場のワードは覚えているね。
It was Nirvana, I summoned the dead, I think?
それじゃあ実践と行こうか。
Shit. Ayumi, you fool!
俺にしっかり捕まってるよ。あとほら、お守りだ。
Argus Cube.
ごめん。もう心配しないで。
篠崎。
お前は正しくパンピーの道を生きてろ。
Ayumi, why would you trust this guy over Yoshiki? He has broken into your house twice. Once into your bathroom while you were naked with only a towel to cover your chastity. And has just injured your friend. Why?
やめて。
Are you on stupid juice? Are you on dumb bitch juice right now?
涅槃よ。死人を。
Oh boy.
篠崎。マジかよ。篠崎。篠崎。そう。なんでだよ。そう。
And like that, she's back.
ここは
Oh, come on, you know the answer to that.
この匂い。この空気。
The smell of corpses.
天神書だ。あれ？ミストさん。どこ？
Oh, he already ditched you, yeah. That's what you get for trusting him.
その石。
And he stole the stones. You're fucked.
ない。どうしよう。あれはミストさんが。そんな。あの石がないと。帰れないわ。ミストさん。また。この学校に一人ぼっち。 そんな。
She's already having regrets.
そんなことないよ。きっとどこかで合流できるわ。前だってそうだったもの。
And she has a flashlight on her? Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh.
お前ザク
いらっしゃいます。
Oh, jeez. Grandfather clock? Ha! And she just happened to have pen and paper on her. Oh, a corpse. Oh. Dead body? Here? Wait, wasn't he one of the spirits that appeared? Ugh. Wait, but his head is still there. Whatever. Oh, come on, move the corpse out of the way. Ay. Hey, batteries. Let's save. Uh-oh.
ミストさん雨の降る放課後でした
Oh, shit. Who's there?
やっぱり人だ
Time for the loose board. Oh, or not. Wait, is something like this it? Yep. The return of the loose board. Who's there? What? Oh, fucking Jesus. Oh no. Oh no.
私だよあゆみあなたを迎えに来たの
Oh, fuck. That doesn't sound natural at all. Oh, fuck. Did I accidentally skip the instructions? What is going on? Oh! Should have seen that coming. Shit. Ow, I'm just running into everything. Ah, fuck. Ugh. Get away from me, bitch. Oh my god, move, 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 you... Ah, shit. Oh! That's the bad end? She just fucking humps me to death? Alright, let's try that again. Why is it skipping the dialogue? Shit. Shit, how do I do the main menu? Enter? No. Menu? I am pressing buttons. I am pressing all the buttons. That's... There we go. skip dialogue, left shift. So I gotta press shift again. Doing this shit again. Wouldn't she see that though? Ah, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Time to do the zip and zag. Ha ha! Suck it! Oh, that's where she died. Why didn't that damage her that time? Whatever. Yuki? You know she's not gonna help you. My chin- Ooh, my chin smashed against the floor and the wind was completely knocked out of me. My entire field of vision turned white, as if I had been drenched in some unholy foes of... I cannot read some of these words. I'm not an English major. What? Who the hell? Then everything went black. Various indistinct forms blurred together in front of me. In front of my eyes, and all of a sudden it felt as if not my body, but my mind had been shattered to pieces. What? That's how the chapter ends? Ayumi just fucking dies? Well, that was chapter 1. Shit has hit the fan immediately. Who would have thought? Ayumi going back to Heavenly Host is what got her killed. No shit. But, yeah, that was chapter 1. I will continue this tomorrow with chapter 2. A lot of things were revealed in this chapter. Some of them that made no sense. I feel like the characters, I guess, just forgot some of the shit they learned. I don't know if that's a plot hole or if they just made the characters dumb on purpose. I don't know. Oh well, I'll talk about it in my Corpse Party videos when I make them. But, until then everyone, until tomorrow, catch you later.